What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zcash today. It is the 28th day of November, and here we are sitting at about $466 with 7 hours and 44 minutes left in the day now. Zcash has broken below $500, and I'm sure a lot of you who are watching this video are wondering, are we bearish now? Is the price going lower? And unfortunately, we're kind of in a state of limbo. Right? We've got 7 hours and 44 minutes left. I did say that I would start to get a little bit bearish if we flipped below, if we crossed below 480, right, taking out this low here. But until we close below this low, it's still technically possible that we could be moving back up. This might be some type of a fake out of this little ascending trend line here, a little fake out, and then we move up. It might be a double bottom overall. Who knows? Maybe we're in a horizontal channel after all, and then we pump. We're literally at the best point to buy before we actually start to move higher. Or is this a signal that Zcash is weak, that we are about to flip bearish and move down? Let's see if we can figure that out. Hit the like button, subscribe, let's get into it, okay? 1 hour time frame, and then we'll zoom out from there. Looking at the 1 hour time frame. And what I will say, what's making me truly skeptical of this break right now, of this move down, is the lack of volume. It's lacking entirely. I want to see, what about on Binance? Lacking hard. Completely lacking, right? It doesn't make sense to me that we break out to the downside. But to be completely fair, again, we haven't really broken out yet. We could move down here, and then at this point, then the volume comes in, validating that the breakout is true. We'll see. You know, it's hard to say. Looking at this here on the 1 hour time frame. And again, in case it's not clear, I'm still, as of now, without doing any of the charts today yet, still under the impression that we have higher to go. That is still the call until proven otherwise. And we haven't been proven wrong yet. It's okay to be proven wrong. It's not okay to flop before you are proven wrong. Anyways, 467. Maybe it is sometimes. I don't know. You are finding resistance here at prior support. That's not a good look. There is a lot of volume on the sell, but at the bottom where this big wick came in. So that's kind of interesting. If you were breaking out, you should be getting a lot of volume that is selling pressure, not buying pressure. It's kind of interesting to note there. 1 hour RSI does look bearish. Can you guys hear that? Sounds like somebody's having fun in their plane. Anyways, rejecting the 50, bearish overall because you're getting oversold. You're rejecting these areas. You're not getting overbought. You look bearish here. It's not good to reject your 50 and get back below the 40. I will say that. That doesn't mean that we have a stupendous amount lower to go. That doesn't mean that we're going to break down below $300 or $200, but maybe we do see a slightly lower low before recovering. Technically, this would imply that we do go lower. The stochastics are also bearish, suggesting that we have lower to go. And the MACD is also bearish technically, which would, it's not suggesting that we have lower to go, but it wouldn't contest that at least. Looking at the 4 hour time frame here, we are bouncing off the oversold zone. Sorry, we're not bouncing off the oversold zone. We're at the oversold zone. We have found some turbulence here. We haven't bounced yet though, have we? Maybe we do bounce. This is a perfect area to bounce from after all. We do have lower lows in the RSI. We do have lower lows in the price. We have lower lows in the price, but higher lows in the stochastics. That's bullish divergence. Lower lows in the price, but higher lows in the MACD. That is also bullish divergence. So we have on the 4 hour time frame, again, with this area that we've recently broken out of, we have very minimal volume, a lack of continuation, right? We've been down here now for about a day below this level, about a day. We have a lack of volume, a lack of continuation, and we have bullish divergence on 2 indicators on our 4 hour time frame. Not to mention the RSI is actually at a really good place to bounce here at the oversold zone. This is an area where you bounce from just below before, just above before, just above before, right there, right at it, right here, right at it, right there. We've actually bounced right from this area a bunch of times, all to the bullish effect. Now, the one bearish thing, the one thing that might be bearishly implied is that if we're looking at all these times that we found support, they've been sharp recoveries here. Notice how back here, this was not such a sharp recovery. And what happened? We got a lower high. Right here, this was not such a sharp recovery. What happened? We got a lower high. Here, we're not getting really a sharp recovery, at least yet. Might we just come up and form a lower high? We're kind of in this state of limbo right now because If we move down a little bit, there's no conviction that we've broken out yet until we close a day below $440. If we move up a little bit, there's no conviction that this is the low and that we're moving up to new highs until we close probably above like $635 or $610, something like that. But once we close above this level or once we close below this level, at that point we have to be apprehensive. We have to be direct with our expectations that we would be breaking out one way or the other. When we break out to the upside, I would assume that we see something from $877 to $930. That's the price target. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy, just slightly higher, okay? If we break out to the downside, the expectation there is that we probably do go below 300. We may even go below $200. Let's actually talk about that because we haven't talked about it so much. You look at the low, you look at the high, the minimum target from here, the absolute bare minimum target that you could achieve from here, which means that likely you will only drop more, but at least to here, is $300. At most, of course, you go to zero, but in what I would expect, the most would probably be somewhere around $171. Yes, Zcash from here, from a high of $744, could drop all the way below $200 and still come back and move up to new all-time highs. But regardless, I don't care if we're at 300 or 171, which is about a 50% drop. It's a big range. I don't care which one it is. That's anywhere from like a 35 to a 63% drop. And here's the other thing too. This can happen. Statistically speaking, the most likely thing would be that you either bounce off of this level or you bounce somewhere around this line. With the 236, it's a very specific thing. You cannot break below it. If you do, it's not probable that you find support just below the 236 or in between the 236 and the 382 or just above the 382 like this. You break the 236, your likelihood for going to the 382 goes up tremendously. It's very common in strong moves to tip the 382 and bounce right off it just like that. But it's also common enough to wick a little bit below the 382, and that's why I say this is more of a strict price, where this is more of an idea. You could go below 170. You could even go down to 140. Maybe not 140, but like 150, just below the 382, and that will not increase your probabilities of going lower. It's actually just very normal behavior. So if we go lower, if this is the beginning of bad things to come, if we're not finding support here, that's what we have to look forward to. If I'm right in assuming that we still move higher, let's say that we're at $870 or higher, right? 877 or higher, that's the target area that we have right there. Then these targets shift up a little bit. Then it goes to 340 to 190. Similar, but a little bit different. But still, there's a decent chance that no matter where or how this cookie crumbles, no matter where we top off at, unless it's sizably higher from where we are now, there's a very solid chance that we do drop below $300 and potentially even below $200. Okay. Or sorry, not below $300, sorry, $400, if not potentially below $200. Looking at the daily time frame again, the RSI does have lower lows, and the price does have lower lows as well. Well, I guess here you have a higher low, and here you have a lower low. And it's hidden bullish divergence, actually. It's a good thing. You're at the 40, which is actually a good area to bounce as well. The MACD is still bullish. The stochastics are fully reset. They're in the oversold zone. I mean, the last two times that the stochastics looked just like this was right here. You moved up literally 12% the next day and 11% the following day. You had a pump in a 2-day, 3-day time frame that was 30%. The time before that you were down here, you were at the lows and you had a pump. It wasn't in 2 or 3 days, but you still had a pump up, a nice little pump. It's probably about 16%, 15%, something like that. The time before that, you were oversold. To be fair, you weren't at your low. You did go a little bit lower, but you did move up from there. That was a relative low point. Typically these low points here in the stochastics, these oversold areas, do mark lows, and we're at one now. The MACD being above the zero, I don't care that it's red. I don't care that it's red. You're actually very, very red. You're like some of the most bearish momentum that you've built on your MACD, and this is all you have to show for it, is a higher low, right? I'm reluctant to be bearish here, but I'm open-minded to it, right? If we flip bearish, unfortunately, we won't have the exact call, though I did advocate every single time that people did not buy at these levels, and even the first time we were advocating that you sell, mentioning that not financial advice, not a financial advisor, that it wouldn't be a bad time to sell here, because as nice as it would have been to catch a 20 to 30% pump or whatever, 40% pump, depending on where you got in, still might be wise to take profits. We're still in wise profit-taking points right now. If you've bought in earlier, if you bought in especially in like August or September or anywhere in October, we're still at good profit taking points. But there may be from here, and this is where things get tricky, there may be from here another, like 80, 90% pump, 88% pump to potentially something that's over 100% pump from here. We really could see that. So it's an interesting situation to be in where there are some sizable gains to be had in what would likely be a very short amount of time. And then we sell off, or do we just sell off here? It's hard. It's just enough to keep you interested. That amount of growth is just enough, in my opinion, to keep you interested. But what's nice about it down here at 462 is you can set really tight stop losses. If we get a day to close below $441, that would be it. At that point, we flip bearish. There's no ands, ifs, or buts, right? If there's some bullish divergence and the volume's not looking good, maybe we have a chance. Fake outs do happen. Do be aware of that. At this moment, we are a little bit more cautious right now, right? We were more confidently bullish here because we've gone below 480. We're a little bit more cautious now, but it's the break below 440, 442 that would really have us thinking, okay, this is the top. It's a double top. Volume has died off. We're consolidating. Now we're breaking out. If we break out, volume should start to pick up. When we break out, we don't need to see volume like this. It's just going to need to pick up. So literally, we could even be below the average levels of volume here. The histogram, you see the little wispy lines. That's the average levels of volume. We could see Zcash move down, and the volume is something like this, still below the wispy lines. But as long as it's growing and building as you're moving down, that's how you validate the breakout. So time will tell. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully by tomorrow we have some better results to talk about. If I'm right, we should see a nice recovery. And we should be moving up to 877 to 930, somewhere in there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. If I'm wrong, $300 or lower awaits. And likely, I would say even likelier, we probably do go below $200. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. I wouldn't mind buying here because it's so close to this level, but you have to have a tight stop loss. From here, from where you are right now, stop loss is like 4%. This is a perfect area to make a speculative play. You can literally afford to risk less than 5% for what could be a 90 to a 100% gain. Like that's pretty good risk to reward management there. It would just be very unfortunate if we broke out and it was a fake out and then we moved up higher. That would be very unfortunate. But at that point, whatever. There's other fish in the sea. Clap for the people that make money. Boo-hoo for you, but go make money somewhere else. There's no problem with that. Anyways, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.